Hi Libra, how are we today? Just doing our weekly readings, and yes, it's that time of month again where we're going to be looking at the month ahead. So August, wow, this year is going so quickly, right, guys? But looking at August 2025, we will be splitting it up into, just a bit of an overview. We will look at the biggest challenge coming through in August for you, as well as, the good stuff as well. All right, but I am going to be primarily using the Kauai Lenormand today, but I also do have here the Alice in Wonderland Oracle as well. Okay, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. I do really appreciate that. Hopefully getting back to a bit more of a regular schedule going forward. I've been a bit hectic with my life lately, but starting off for your overview for August, Libra, start, middle and end of August. What's going on for Libra in August 2025? Start, middle and end of August for Libra. Starting off the month, we do have the ring coming through here. So quite often this does talk about commitments that you are entangled in some way, shape or form. And I hate to break it here, Libra, but just judging off what I'm seeing for the rest of the month, it does seem to be more so about the strain of commitments and the cycles the patterns that you find yourself stuck in this month. Really sort of things looping back around, which I'm kind of not surprised, to see a message like this. We have just started the Mercury retrograde. There are 3 other planets in retrograde at the moment. We do have the big, like the solar eclipse happening at the start of August as well. So quite a lot going on, planetary wise at the moment. So it does tend to bring things back around, the good and the bad. But so the general sort of overview for your month here is that commitments and cycles that you have been committed to. So things that you have been committed to on an ongoing basis are coming up as potentially a little bit problematic this month. Well, even if they're not problematic, it's just that they're, really coming under the microscope here, and you're really starting to, look at the commitments that you've made in your life as to, is that really where I want to be committing my time and my energy and my love? And, just assessing a lot of those sorts of commitments. And when I do say commitments, I don't necessarily mean with people. We can be looking at, career, business commitments, just commitments like I chose to go to that particular gym and I've got a contract with that gym rather than that other gym, so it can be all those sorts of things as well. Contracts, commitments in that sense, that you have in your life, in some way, shape or form, commitments to living in a certain area or dealing with certain people in your life, those sorts of things. We do see the center of the month coming through with the whip here, so there does seem to be a bit of conflict, a bit of just conflicting emotions, conflicting thoughts about, are these commitments really where I want to be here? I will actually get some clarity in regard to that, because it does feel as though for some of you, when you start sort of looking at these things under the microscope, some of them are, you're saying to yourself, yes, I want to remain committed to that. I want to remain contracted to that and continue with that cycle in my life. Whereas others of them, you're kind of like, maybe it's time for that to go. Maybe it's time to break that pattern, break that cycle. Can I just get some clarity here for Libra in regards to the ring and the whip, please? Yeah, we do see the clover in the tower here. So you're definitely, taking opportunities to think things through very clearly, firstly, but, to make sort of jump in the deep end and really, really focus yourself as to where have I been invested? What have I invested myself into? What have I jumped into without really thinking? The clover is a little bit impulsive, jumping in the deep end with things, taking chances and risks that you're now starting to realize maybe haven't paid off for you. Some of them have, but some of them haven't. And once again, it's just heavy under the microscope this month. It just seems to be a month of reflection for you. That, the finishing card for the month here was the clouds as well, which does show us, your thoughts. You're overthinking things quite heavily this month. You're really thinking things through. Good and bad. But this seems to be very much like a thought process, a reflective thought process on the commitments that you've made in your life as a whole here. With the tower there as well, it does show us, taking time to yourself to really reflect and look at the things in your life that, because once again, the tower is very regimented. So, as our cycles and patterns, they're very regimented. We know how that happens. We know the loop. We know what the cycle brings. So you're really sort of looking at those things and sort of looking at the areas where you've bitten off more than you can chew. I'm not necessarily seeing any huge actionable things here. It's just more this really, really thinking things through very, very clearly about, is this, right for me? Is because I do feel for some of you there is an aspect of tradition coming into play here. That, am I just doing these things because that's what I feel like I should do, or am I actually doing these things because I want to have these cycles in my life? So you're in a bit of conflict, I think, this month. Just with the way that you're thinking about things. About, is that really right for me? Is that commitment something that I actually want to remain committed to? So you may be punishing yourself a little bit here too for sort of biting off more than you can chew with certain things, certain commitments that you're kind of like, that was maybe a little bit too much for me to be taking on. So I do feel as though you are thinking things through very heavily here, to the point where it could actually be detrimental to you. So when you are thinking things through, please make sure to not allow yourself to sort of go down that rabbit hole where you're only thinking about the negative side of things. That you do sort of flip yourself around to think about the positive aspects of things as well as the negative. All right, that you're trying to be a little bit more objective with your thoughts rather than allowing yourself to sort of spiral down this path of confusing yourself even more. All right. So that's what I'm picking up there for you, but we may see that coming through in your challenges here as well. What are the challenges for Libra in August, please? Challenges Libra will be facing in August. Here's that conflict coming to play. We have the house and the ship. Okay, so this is that conflict immediately. On one hand, we see, the family home. We see security. We see stability. We see something that's not moving, that's not changing. And then on the other hand, we see movement, big movement, starting new journeys and, ripping up that stability and is it time to, make a sea change? That those kind of big questions that you've got throwing around in your head here, because this is stable and secure and it doesn't go anywhere, whereas this goes everywhere. This is a brand new adventure, taking on new journeys. And for some of you, this even could be, is it, I'm torn between, should I stay here or should I go? Should I stay or should I go? So for some of you, it is quite that simple. It may even be directly in relation to where you live, whether that be, your actual home or just the general area that you live. You may actually be thinking of moving, some of you here. And that maybe is the big challenge for you this month, is to sort of work out which side of that you're going to go with here. Because, I do feel, like I said, traditional in your thought processes and while you're taking time to really think things through, there does seem to be this big aspect to do with traditionality. That, am I just doing this because it's traditional to do it that way? Because it's giving me that example of, the white picket house and the 2.5 kids, and, that's the traditional, outline for a lot of people, or once was the traditional outline for a lot of, families. But it's kind of like, well, is that really what I want though? Like, maybe I don't want that traditional white picket fence. Maybe I want a cabin in the woods. Maybe I want a lighthouse. Maybe I want a houseboat instead of a house. So we do see that conflict is your biggest challenge this month. That feeling torn in two directions kind of energy here. So we'll definitely get you some cards to sort of advise on how to overcome these challenges this month. Okay, Libra. How can Libra overcome their challenges in August? How can Libra overcome their challenges in August, please? Pretty clear advice here. Not going to lie, these two came out directly together as well. We have the Rider and the Star. I didn't even need to draw a second card as soon as I saw those, because this is, going directly towards your dreams. It's not allowing yourself to be pulled between two things. It's asking yourself, well, hang on, what is the grand wish? What is the thing I dream of? Not what I feel like I should do, but what I wish to do. The stars is, reaching for the stars, flying that horse to the stars, even if they seem out of reach here, Libra, that you're getting up on that horse and you're riding off into the sunset. And the sunset is your dreams being fulfilled. That this is what I've always dreamt of, so I'm going to go for it. So I do feel as though for a lot of you, that's how we overcome this indecision. That's how we overcome this knowing whether, hang on, is this the dream or is that the dream? We're not thinking about it as, oh, I feel like I should do this, I should do that. What if I did this? What if I do that? I feel like the best way to answer that question to yourself is, what's the one I actually have always wished I would do? Because I do feel as though there's a bit of fear here, Libra, that it's like, that's why we're in these two minds. That's why we're in this conflict about this, because, there's a lot of fear associated with packing up and leaving. And I do feel as though that's the direction you're going here. That, because with the Rider too, it's kind of like, good news, your wishes can be achieved. So that crazy thing that you have always wished for, that you thought could never happen, you're finding a way to make it happen. No matter how non-traditional it is, no matter how crazy it may seem to others, you're finding a way to make it happen. You're kind of, looking at the cycles and the loops you've kind of found yourself, stuck in here. And, I do feel a lot of you are going to be making some big decisions about changing those this month, and riding off onto some brand new journey to see these wishes fulfilled. Because for a lot of you, I feel like your wishes are more connected to that ship, that brand new journey that you're embarking on, rather than staying put in what's safe. And this is like the comfortable safety zone of where you currently are. This is a brand new journey that you're yet to embark on. And I do feel for a lot of you, that's where you're headed, is that new journey. But we'll have a look at all the good stuff coming through to you and see if we're seeing any other indicators there as well. What's the good stuff for Libra in August? What's the good stuff for Libra in August? And not going to lie, Libra, I have seen facets of this same message coming through for you for the last couple of months, to be honest. I have been getting messages of some Libras making huge life changes like this. So, you're not the only one, if that is you, okay? What's the good stuff for Libra in August, please? Once again, your cards are just wanting to be known here. Set your course. All right, set your course. So straight away, when you say set your course, you're steering your ship in the direction where you want to go, not where you think you need to stay. It does say, know where you wish to go, have a plan, the right direction. So the right direction is where you wish to go, not necessarily where you are. Okay, so it's pretty clear. I'm not going to lie. The other card that we have here is All in the Golden Afternoon. That one looks a bit creepy, doesn't she? She looks like that Annabelle haunted kind of vibe. I know these are a bit hard to sort of see the imagery with the holographic there, but inspiration, creative spark, imagination, and conception. So, you know, you're only limited by your own beliefs, your own wishes here, your own imagination. The sky's the limit. There is no limit, really. You know, those stars are ready to pull down from the sky here. Any extra clarity for Libra with the good stuff for August? The good stuff for Libra in August, please. Okay, so we do have the Garden coming through first. Very social meeting type energy. I do feel as though for a lot of you, this is somehow connected to business. We do have the mountain and the bear there as well. You can even see that bear there is a bit of a businessman bear. The mountain is the Capricorn card. So, you know, it is that kind of boss determination energy there as well. It kind of shows us that, you know, there may be some obstacles in this path here in the form of, you know, a boss type figure. There may be some delays. There may be like an obstacle, a blockage to that you're needing to sort of compromise with this blockage. The blockage feels like this bear, like this person is a blockage. But there also is a strong soul energy here. I am picking up a strong soul energy there off that bear energy. I do connect it with soul energy very strongly. Strong Capricorn energy here as well. So maybe it's just sort of wanting you to know that there's a lot of determination that as long as you're determined enough, you can climb any mountain that's put in your path. You can go anywhere you want in this life, Libra, as long as you're perseverant with it, with what you truly wish for here, you know, and that you're willing to compromise and meet others halfway in order to have those obstacles removed for yourself, or change that direction to suit others a little bit there as well. So I do feel there may be the need to get somebody else on board a little bit here, compromise with somebody a little bit, in order to continue to move in that direction that you're after. For some of you, this is, you know, getting out and about, spending time with friends. There may be someone who can really actually help give you some good advice here. A friend might give you some good advice as well. But you know, that's where we're needing to use that creative energy, that imagination. Okay, the inspiration. So for some of you, you may be finding inspiration in somebody who is very stoic and determined and perseverant in their own self. Very big and tall and strong and mountain-like. They're very solid. They're a very solid energy around you here. Getting on board with them and having meetings with that person in order to sort of meet them halfway with this does seem to be advised here. But it's coming through as the good stuff for you. So in a way, this you know, this person seems to be able to ground you in reality as well as, you know, but it seems to be in the reality of that you really can do whatever you want here, Libra. It's a very interesting message there. Because, you know, that it's kind of like as soon as you set your course and you start getting creative and imaginative with it, it's like meeting up with this person really helps you. It's kind of like figure out the logistics of it. The good stuff is that this person actually, you know, they're the boss. They know where to put the boundaries for you, and they help establish boundaries for you. They help you know where to be perseverant and where to push your determination and whatnot. So I feel like this person is, you know, a very soulful help, more so than a hindrance with this issue. You know, that is coming through as the good stuff. So there may be a reason why that person is coming through in that way, but I'll leave that to you, Libra. You're more than welcome to check out your other placements, of course. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again soon.